Greetings! What are you saying? Episode 2. I'm a bit blue. My teeth feels like poo. Really hurts. Really hurts. I'm on 4 look, 3, 4 cocodamol. And they're not doing anything. I'm in agony. Right, so this might not be as long as we'd planned. But hopefully the cocodamol kicks in a bit more in a minute. Whoa. Lots and lots. All the pain. All of the anger and agony is in my mouth. But I'm still here for you because I love you. And because I appreciate you supporting Weekend Warlords. Supporting the Patreon. My back teeth just touched and it really hurt. But I'm going to just pretend that didn't happen. So what's happening today? So today, I want to do some modding, right? We've had some new stuff come out in Wave 3, and everyone and their auntie has jumped on it. They've all painted Darth Maul. I'm not doing that, because I ain't got time, to be completely fair. I've got too many dials to paint for people, so I very rarely have time to paint stuff, especially for myself. I will tell a lie, I did paint 2 tiny little ships on Saturday for myself, because I want to take them to a tournament, and I don't do unpainted ships, those of you that know me. But today I'm going to kind of go over a few bits and bobs of kind of scratch building, converting, whatever you want to call it. Be using plasticard, be using chopped up bits and models, be using dangerous sharp knives and saws and stuff. I've also got a couple of sneak peeks of my Wave 3 dials. They're not finished by any means. Excuse me. But I thought I'd bring along what I had. So, because this stream is going out live to everyone. Whereas generally these are locked down just to you Patreon subscribers. And if you're not a subscriber, here is what you got to do. You go to Rasta Maice Painting on Facebook, and there is a link on there to the Patreon. And for the grand total of $2 a month, you have access to all the locked down painting and modelling tutorial videos that I've done over the past like 18 months or so, and will keep doing. And occasionally we do one like this which goes out to the world just to show everyone what we're doing, and hopefully get you guys to sign up and help to keep the wheels of industry turning, so to speak. So how many viewers have we got so far, John?
You've 4 on Twitch and 8 on YouTube. So
it looks like there's 12 of you out there, which is enough. If you are out there, please say something in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Let me know you're out there. Otherwise, I do just feel like I'm talking to myself, because I ain't got me Ash to bounce off, because he's rubbish at making models, and we don't need him making me look even uglier than I actually am. So how about, before I start modding stuff, I'll show you a little picture, right? So what I'm planning on doing in this one is a Sith Infiltrator mod. And I found hey Arthon, you gorgeous cake making beast. I found I'm a member of this scale model group on Facebook, and it's all like sci-fi models, but not like X-Wing stuff. This is not gamer pieces. These are people that make big, stunning movie type models. It doesn't look like the Falcon cockpit. This is actually this is my jockstrap up close. I have a complete gold. Hey, ciao bello, buonasera. That's to my Italian friends. That was my bad Italian. Hi matey to CPL Hicks. I wonder who that could be. Hicks. Anyway, I'm going to show you this picture on my phone. I don't know if this is going to work. Where is it? There we go. Can you see that? Right, so this is a massive Sith Infiltrator which has been modded on this modelling site. And I saw it and I was like, that is awesome. I've got some Kylo wings and I've got a hacksaw that I can cut my thing up, and I'm going to try and make something similar to this. So let's get my phone out of the way. So I've got one of these. These are all new and shiny. I keep...
Down.
What? The camera?
Yeah.
Shall I move it?
No, like that.
Oh, right. Yeah, do that. That's better.
Yeah.
He's so gorgeous. He's not. He's clever. So I got one of these. This is it. Straight out the box. I haven't done anything to it. I got a pair of these. Right, now getting those off of a silencer is not easy. You need to put it in the freezer for like a day. And then it loosens the glue enough where you can snap them out without completely destroying the other part. So these are just the original silencer wings. And I'll tell you what I've got as well. I've got a couple of conversions. So I've been doing like these transformers. If I go like funny talk, it's because my teeth are going mad at the same time. And I'm trying to stay professional. But these are some of my transformer conversions. Now, let's show you this. This is a fire spray conversion. So, I don't know if you can see what's happened here, but this is the back of the fire spray. Let's turn it to the side. Right? That's better. And so, this is one of my conversions. Just showing you where I go. And how much work goes into just kind of like how you can mod stuff up, change it, and make it look like something else. Bit of a weird one. Give us back the other picture a minute, John.
Yep.
John's going to give me back the other picture. There we go. So you can have a bit more of a look like that. Let's hold it this way. There we go. This is going to look very cool. This is going to be my, it's like the samurai transformer. That's the plan for that one. I'll show you another one. Then I've got this one. This is a hawk, which is part of a, it's got a TIE Punisher. It's got this rotating magnetized radar array. The guns rotating. It's got some mini guns that I found on a model kit. It's got the wings off of a TIE Aggressor. It's got the little panels for the Autobot logos. So it's massive kit bashing. Lots of bits and bobs. Here's one that I'm sure you guys kind of get the idea of. It's like a warthog. Gives you an idea. But I've added an antenna array. I've added the back end off of a Forlom ship. I've got some missile and rocket pods off of a toy helicopter. I've got another little minigun off of Flames of War tank kit. Lots of different bits. So you can change your ships up. I love doing stuff like that. My real background when I started modelling, especially when I was working for Games Workshop, was all about my conversions. That's what I was big into. So before I get on to slicing stuff up, loving the new Patreon content. Thank you very much, Bucket of Awesomeness. Again, I'm going to apologise, right? It's like someone is punching me in the mouth while I'm trying to talk to you. So I'm not myself at all. I'm going to do some sneak peeks. So John, can I have back my other view? Thank you very much, young man. So for those of you that weren't with me last episode, I showed you a few of the up and coming Wave 3 dials. These are still to go to the caster because I'm working on the heroes. So here we go. Here's Darth Maul. He's close to being done and going off to the caster. Still got a few more bits to tighten up with my green stuff and fix because of the way we make molds. So let's move him along. To go with him, bad guy range, we've got this droid. Loads of you are going to be flying those droid things. Such a cool dial cover. Such a cool dial cover. And then another bad guy, which you guys that were with me last episode haven't seen, and I love this one so much, is General Kenobi. It's Mr. Grievous himself. How bloody cool is that? Right, so these are before they're completely finished, before they go off to the mould maker, and before they're turned into the raw product. There's some bad guys coming for you. A little bit of a, you guys are tuning in. I thought I'd show you something. I tend to not share any of my work in progress stuff. I'm really anal about stuff like that. Some bad guys there for you. Hope you like them. Give us thumbs up or a shout if you do. And then we'll get on to some good guys. So one you've seen already. General Kenobi. Anakin's come in. There's loads of other Jedis coming. But there's General Kenobi. Another Jedi. None of you have seen this one yet either. Plo Koon. Look at that. How cool is that? It's so good. I don't know I did it, but I love it. It's really cool. I love this a lot. Then we've got the clone pilots. So we have got a standard clone pilot helmet. In the progression of the design of the clone helmets, they went through quite a big change from kind of the second film to the third film. I do believe that was Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and in the Clone Wars cartoons. So this is one of the pilot designs. This also was another one of the pilot designs. So I do quite a lot of research to make sure that these things are pretty close to canon, although they're my caricatures of the actual thing. This is the one that's getting more towards the Stormtrooper look, with you'd actually see the guy's face in the middle here, and it's got a bit of kind of rebel helmet and Imperial helmet. Okay, do love the Plo Koon. Who's that bucket of awesome? Let's move him back in a bit more. There's Plo Koon. I've also got Mace Windu coming, Ahsoka's coming, Anakin's coming, Count Dooku, there's a tactical droid. What else was there? Top of my head, I can't remember. I'm definitely toying with the idea of doing Rex and Cody their actual clone helmets, but I'm not sure yet, because I'm up to about 12 or 14 different designs, and these things cost me an arm and a leg to actually take from here to the mass produced side where I'm casting them out, and they don't always recoup me what I end up spending, so I've got to be careful that I don't go too mad. I've got so many ideas, it's insane, but picking the right ones to actually take to production is really important. So any of you guys feedback on stuff that you see, like do it, it all will encourage me to actually take them from the design stage into Phil, into the actual manufacture stage. I am looking at, though, in the next 3 or 4 weeks there should be some of these for sale, because I'll let you know about my timescales. Those of you that are Patreon members and have been Patreon members for 6 months or more will be getting special gift dials. They are a Porg dial. They go to the $10 Patreon and the $20 Patreons. The $20 get a painted one and the $10 get unpainted ones. And anyone else that's involved with the Patreon, just like the $2 guys, you'll have access to buy those. But they're not going to be available to the public. So start of next week, I've just got them back from the caster. I will be painting all your dials, so 2 weeks from today basically they'll be going in the post to you guys, and you should be receiving your Porg dials in the post. And if you'd like to buy one, that's a great opportunity for you to go out there and subscribe to your $2 Patreon, and there will be the option to buy one coming up next week. But that's the only way you're going to get them, and I'm only casting so many, so I wouldn't wait too long, because I know what I have cast are getting close to being spoken for already. So if you're interested in an incredible Porg dial, I will be putting a picture on Rasta Maice painting soon. I suppose I could crack on a little bit with cutting stuff up. So I'm just going to have a swig of my water and a tug on my vape. My tooth's really hurting, guys. So here's a tooth story. I went to the dentist at Christmas, really bad dental pain. Went to the dentist, and the dentist had the cheek to tell me, number one, he lied and said I've got to go to the hospital to have it out, because they don't have the ability to put me to sleep because I've got this anemic condition. Lies. Because and then he had a go at me and went, well, you should have known about this 3 months ago, because it's a 3-month waiting time. Okay, fine, whatever, like I'm meant to be out of time travel in my head. Ended up at the hospital literally 2 weeks ago, checked me out, went, yeah, no, there was no reason for him to send you, apart from the fact he's written on your card he doesn't have the ability to take it out himself, so he lied. Now I've got to wait another 3 months for them to pull it out. So if you ever do have toothache, I would advise you to invent a time travelling machine, travel forward 6 months, check if your teeth are hurting, because it seems that you have to wait 6 months in the UK to have a tooth pulled out. Hey Matt, I know you got your dials. Is that Johnny Cannon? What was that last message?
Give me 1 second.
Yes, Matt, thank you very much. Numbing spray, yo. Yeah, I got some. Look, bro, but do you know what? It ain't like I'm in proper bad place. Rasta medicates on his Patreon. Does this mean I don't want cake? Arthon, if I had some of your cake, it's got so much rum in it, it'd probably be the best thing in the world. Oh, is that you? How many pseudonyms have you got, Brucey? I never know who's who. So, just so you know, Brucey, I might well be doing a small shit painting one on the next one. So, let's try and get these wings off. Now, I'm not really sure. I'm just going to have a bit of a tug. Oh, hey, there we go. Boom. Boom. Right, so that's how that comes off. So there clearly is this separate piece here. And there's these two pieces. Now, that's awesome because I wanted these. Right, so look, I'll show you this. Look, big box of awesomeness. Ah, it's great being a model maker. This is one of the things about scratch building and model making. That maybe I'm slightly more privileged than you guys. I've built up a collection of bits of crap over the past, however, 20 years that I've been doing it. I have actually got boxes. Ask Mr. Bruce, who's in the chat. One love, Mr. P. Oh, stop it, Amish. Mr. Bruce will acclaim to my massive, massive box of spare ships that I just break. So, they come off incredibly easy. And if I'm not wrong, this should kind of fit here. It kind of does. Let's turn that the other way. What I'm going to do is I am going to pin this though. So I'm going to use, let's go to my box of tricks. And when I say pin, this is what I mean. This is like a modelling rod. Available from Weekend Warlords. Come into the store, got lots of modelling stuff. I'm going to use a little pin vise and I'll drill holes in the respective pieces because I want to be able to mount this with some sort of strength. I don't just want a glue joint. I also want to be able to mount it and remove it. I don't want to stick this on because I want to be able to paint this separately. So they come off really easily. I wasn't expecting that. The other part of this conversion. John, you wouldn't be a darling, would you? And just fetch me my pencil that I left outside. I'll show you a couple of tools I've got as well that I'll be using. Swan Morton, Life, Hobby Saw, Craft Saw, X-Acto Blades, whatever you want to call it. Evening Matt Whittam, said it right again. I expect extra credit for saying it right. This thing, this is not a pencil. This is a scriber. This is for scribing panel lines into plasticard. This is a great bit of kit. Pencil. It's liberated from Screwfix. It just fell in my pocket. Honest, it did. It's all right. Screwfix are not part of my Patreon, so I won't get in trouble. Now, I want to cut part of this out. It's quite terrifying. This might go all wrong, and I'm just going to trash this model, but I'm going to give it a go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to, instead of taking it right to a point, I'm going to take it like to here. Let's make a little pencil line, and I'll do the same on the bottom, but I'm going to start at the top. So I want to go to about there. All right. Right, so it's just giving me a rough cut line of where I'm going. I'm going to kind of try and mirror that on the other side. This is going to be tricky. I knew this was going to be a tricky one. Right, now, I was hoping that was going to be nice and simple and I was going to be able to use a knife. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to take this off. Oh! All right, Pete. One love, mate. Have a nice night. Let's get this off. Oh, that come out easy. They're not gluing these things in very well anymore. They used to do it much better than that. So that gives me, it's a bit flatter on my desk now. So, right. This will be, I might have to just move out a shot a second, just a little bit, because of the way my desk is, just to start my line. Right. So I don't know if you guys can see. I actually need something to prop this up. Let me use this. It's better. Right. So I've already started at the back, and I'm trying to keep this saw blade nice and flat. So remember, the point of these streams are, if you guys have got any questions, regarding your model making, your painting, whatever it is you're doing, now's your time to ask them. It doesn't have to be related to what I'm doing. It can be anything. We just recorded a video before this. That's actually come out right. Can you see that line now? So I've got a really straight line, and I've used this to achieve that. Remember, you let your saw do your work. It's a bit like your woodwork. And now I'm going to get in again here right at the end. Make sure I've got it. And then pull back, right? Never push. And you want to start it off. It's like as if you were doing actual carpentry. But this is obviously way more important to life. Who needs to hang a door when you can make a model and pretend you've got a spaceship?
It might actually be worth pointing out to the viewers that you actually run a Patreon page, because some of them are probably just excellent viewers from our Twitch and YouTube.
So, guys, what I'm doing now is part of a larger thing. So before we ever started streaming games at Weekend Warlords, we started a thing called Rasta Maice Painting. And it was that lovely, lovely bald man sat next to me doing all the magical stuff that helped me put together a Facebook page and helped me put together a little streaming service. Well, it's not so much a streaming service. We started doing videos on my model making, and we opened up this thing called a Patreon where you can subscribe for the cheapest subscription is $2 a month, and $2 a month gets you access to all of the videos. And if you pay more, it gets you access to the same videos, but you get prizes and stuff. So spend $2 a month. That's all we're after, really. Support us a little bit. That money goes towards the Weekend Warlords network, so to speak, and now is in a big pool and goes towards our streaming costs, everything that we put out, that money goes towards. You can find that on my Facebook page on Facebook. It's the Cocoa Mall. It's not working. My mouth really hurts, Mum. So we're getting there though. So now I thought this was going to be a really, really, really bad thing to do, and I was going to basically just show myself up. So we can start to see those lines. What I'm going to do now as well, before I get too far forward, I'm going to get me little Swan Morton. Old man glasses, old man glasses. Afraid I have to go, but we'll leave the stream running in the background. I love you, my darling. Go and cook some cake, Arthon. Right, so I am just going to go across this bit here. Well, I'm clearly never going to get my knife, my saw in here. I'm in cam, I'm in shot, and you guys don't need to see chloroseptic. So I'm just cutting across the back edge. I'm reinforcing that line, and then I'm going to go right in this corner and just run my knife down that saw line, because that saw line's giving me a lovely, see, I don't actually need to carry on now with my saw. So gently, gently, and you just keep scoring. Just keep scoring. Because I want my Sith Infiltrator to look different to everyone else's Sith Infiltrator. And this sort of thing most people find really, really daunting, but it probably isn't as bad as you'd think when you've had it kind of demiffed a little bit. So I'm pretty much through on this side, I think. It's just up the top here. I'm not quite through yet. You can see my blade went straight in then. Let's just get that saw just up this top edge. So remember, if you're watching and you want to comment or you want to ask a question,
Just put the viewing numbers up on the screen for you.
awesome. Now, are they watching? Do you think they're watching on 2 media at once, or do you think that's 26 people?
I think it will be close to that.
Awesome.
26.
I got 26 friends. I like it. I'm kind of a lonely guy at the moment, to be honest. I'm Billy No Mates. I've only got my dogs at home. So you 26 is the most people I've seen in like 2 weeks. So please comment. Oh, Matt Coles. Can't wait for Wave 3 dolls. Been waiting to play Triple Jedi for ages. Been having so much fun with them. Matt, I played double and loved it. I have drawn Ahsoka and I have drawn Anakin, but both of those designs I've had to rework because I wasn't happy. Ahsoka was just too big on the dial because of her Leku. And Anakin's face was a little bit too broad, so I'm having to narrow things down and just change his profiles a little bit. But yeah, Obi and Annie for me are a big deal. I don't think they're going to be full on, you know, the bee's knees competitive, but they are full on fun. I know that much. Now, I'm getting through here at the back, but then I'm hitting something quite big in the middle, so there's clearly some sort of joining peg underneath. So I'm going to go back in again. Let's get me ultra chloroseptic. Other numbing agents are available. Weekend Warlords is only sponsored by Crack and Rum. I wish. So right. Now we are getting there, right? So probably what I want, I'm not sure whether I want to cut all the way through and trust it marries up on the other side, or whether I want to start doing some mathematics and lining the other side. I'd love to get this piece out though. Okay, look. Okay, we have give. We have give. Now let's go in here. Right, be careful with these knives, yeah, guys. I don't have to be as careful because I've got 12 toes and 12 fingers. That's why I've only got 10 at the moment because I've cut 2 of them off. But please be careful with these knives. Rasta Maice and Weekend Warlords does not accept responsibility for any loss of limbs. Bang! We're out. Look at that. Really neat. God, I thought that was going to be an absolute nightmare. And I thought I was going to just trash. What are these? 35 quid? Yeah. Woo! It's not good, is it? Right, so a little clean up in there a little bit. So I think I might actually be alright if I put my blade in and use this as some sort of a guide. But what I'll do before I do that is I'll get a trusty file. And I'm going to get my old man glasses back on. This is awesome. Been recently getting into the hobby side of tabletop. Newbie question. Do you strip your X-Wing models, prime over, or just go for it? So, there's no need to strip X-Wing models. They are generally a paint that's just applied straight to a bare plastic. And it's very, very, very thin. What I would recommend, if you sign up to my Patreon, there is a video on preparing your models and priming your models for painting. I do think you should prime, but I also think you should be aware of the fact that these are just models that haven't been cleaned up. So if you're a model maker, what you do is you start to look for mould lines. So let's see if I can show you, if I can find something I'd want to clean. Yeah, so on the inside of this engine just here, right, there is a tiny mould line. So I would be inclined to go along the edges, clean off any of these mould lines. That's where the mould line is simply what it says. It's where 2 halves of a steel mould have joined together and you get a seam. So I'd go all the way around your model, check it, clean any mould lines off, check for sometimes. You see these have got all washes on. What this is like a pre-printed colour scheme and then it's washed over and wiped with a cloth. And you get these little hairs from the cloth. So check, you might have to brush them off and dust them off a little bit. But that's what you need to do before you worry about anything else. And then I normally hit it with a fine surface primer through an airbrush. That can be done with a rattle can. I wouldn't recommend the rattle can too hard. I'd still look for a prime coat with an airbrush. You have much lighter control. If you are going to use a rattle can, it needs to be really at distance. But generally, they will overpaint. But if you base prime a model, you're starting with a unified undercolour. If you went to paint straight on top of this, we've got 3 different colours going on, and those undercolours will affect your paint. So I hope that answers the question. Hey, Ryan, what are you saying? I was just showing off some dials, Ryan. Remember, it's coming to you soon, bro. I'm just in the process, and I've been telling if I keep grabbing my tooth really hurts, mum. Right, anyway, back to work. Doesn't matter about my tooth, or that I can't see, does it, John?
Well, if they donate on Twitch, you might be able to afford a dentist.
Yeah, guys, because I can't afford a dentist. And if you guys want a big donation, just message me and I'll tell you what my PayPal is. So look, what I'm doing is I am just going along the inside of my cut edges because I need to make sure this cut edge is straight so that when I use this as a guide for my saw, I get a nice straight line. And this is allowing that to happen. Right, so...
I'm offering to take it out for you.
Oh, dude, mate, I wish. I was actually literally earlier thinking about looking up self-dentistry just to see if it was an option.
Really?
I'm not even joking, John. But I have a broken tooth right at the back of my mouth, and my dentist doesn't have the skill to do it. I've had to go to a hospital, and the joy of the British Health Service is it is basically been a 3-month wait so far. I've had an appointment, and now I've got another 3-month wait before they actually pull it out. So I'm currently fighting toothache, which is going to have been with me for 6 months. And anyone that's had toothache knows that it's the worst pain in the world. It really is. I've been impaled on railings, and that's not a euphemism. It actually happened, and it really don't compare to toothache. This is working much better than I thought it was going to work, John.
As long as you don't saw through core septic.
There's nothing in it. I'm hoping that if I saw through a finger, the transferred pain will take away from me dodgy tooth. So we're getting there, we're getting there. I would very much like to have a stop point underneath, though.
We've got about 30 people watching now, George.
Hi, everyone! It's crying at the sun, what does? Chris Bremner! I posted your stuff out, didn't I? Did you get it? I hope you got it. That Selbs, the Figure Groupie, X-Wing, what is that name? 6 months in total, dude. Oh, my head. Rasta has a meltdown live on the internet. Right, so I want a stop point. You see this point here? I want the same underneath, but I haven't actually got it, so I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to measure off. So I'm going to use this back bit of the actual canopy, and I got 1.6 centimetres, so 16 millimetres. So let's go underneath. Let's find 16 millimetres there, and let's mark it. Right, so that gives me my line there. Let's go across with my saw. I only want to do a little bit because I don't want to cut the rest of the chassis. I just want to put a mark on that. Let's get my old man glasses on. Old man glasses. Hey, bro! We got Germans, we got Italians, we got Paul Spurgeon. He's from somewhere that's 4 hours away. Oh, man. Honestly, bro. Seriously, toothache is the worst thing in the world. Honestly, it's properly hurting me. I'm not going to go. I'm going to try. I've got no more chloroseptic, John. What am I going to do? Rasta medicates. You shouldn't really be doing that. Clove oil. And yeah, well, you know, they fell out of the back of a lorry outside my house. It happens. So old man glasses. I've made a little thing here. I'm going to just give that another little score. What I'm going to try and do here is actually push my knife through. Yep.
Old Frick's just popped up.
Hey, old Frick. The lovely Clive. Right, so I've managed to push through here, so I know where my stop point is, and we can flip back over then. So then I can actually see that stop point inside. Can you see that? You can, can't you? It's awesome. So I'm going to carry on cutting now, because now I know where my knife, my saw's got to go to. Right, let's get these lines properly carved in there, and then we'll do what we did the other way, which was get the knife in. There's the knife. Now, because I got that cut line, I know where to start, and now I'm just gentle pressure. Yeah, if you go mad, you'll come out your line, or you'll break your blade, or you'll cut your finger off. So just take your time and let the tool do the work. It's a bit like using a file or a saw. If you push it too hard, you're going to not cut straight. Same with these things. You're either going to break your blade or hurt yourself, and it really isn't worth it. For those of you just joining me, I will show you in a second what I'm going to try and make. And for those of you joining me, thank you very much for joining me. I mean, Jesus Christ, we've got 32 of you on. Who's this? Homage. There's always seems to turn up. They always seem to turn up. I know they do, bro. I know. Screwfix, amazing. Oh, we're nearly through. So we keep going.
Is this a project that you're going to do over multiple episodes? Or?
Well, I'm certainly going to... It came out, look at that. Right? I'm certainly going to try my best to do the bulk of the converting on here. If I need to finish a few bits, I'll finish that at home. And then I will paint it on one of these episodes. Yeah. And I can't promise it will be the next episode. When's the next Ready Steady Rasta? Oh, yeah, not for a bit. I haven't really had any time to cook lately. I've been doing like really simple stuff that I just haven't had time for. Oh, my head. Someone do one of them things when my brain explodes. Look at my eyes. I'm all on the cocodamals. Right. Let's put my glasses back. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. So let me show you a picture. That's it. For those of you that have just joined me, I found this awesome image.
You probably get it on the down one.
Oh, that's a great idea. She's so clever, this John. I found this awesome image. So this is from a scale model builder. This is a massive model someone's built, converted, kit bashed, and it looks evil. It looks like a Sith hunter killer spaceship type thing. And I've got some Kylo wings, and I've got a thing, and as you can see, I've just cut out the centre of it. And that's what I'm kind of aiming towards doing, something a little bit different, to make mine look a little bit unique from everyone else's. So we're at that point where I've managed to cut it out quite successfully. In fact, much less histrionic and drama-ionics than I was expecting. But this does need cleaning, right? So let's get me knife.
So Matt asks, if someone was taking their first steps into model making, what would be your must-have purchases?
When you say first steps into model making, do you mean painting or do you mean model making?
I guess he means model making, what we're doing tonight.
That's probably the key bit of kit ever, is a really good Swan Morton scalpel. But unless you've handled these things, you kind of won't respect how dangerous that is. When that blade's sharp, yep, 10A, always a 10A. It's a 10A blade on a Swan Morton handle. When you take these things out of the packet, I used to live with this thumb. It just used to be absolutely like, I used to have to keep gluing my thumb together because of how much it would get cutting against my finger. A good set of files. They're easily picked up from any hobby shop. I think we've got some at Weekend Warlords. Steel rule, if you were thinking about conversion. Pencil. This is a next step up, would be a scribe. This is a scribe. So let me show you what a scribe does quickly. Let's get a bit of plastic card out. It's a bit of junk plastic card. So if you can see on the top of this model, it has these recessed lines. So if I wanted to create a new panel and I wanted to scribe in the line, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see because of the white. Can you guys even see that? Where is it? You kind of, if I turn it a bit here, but it starts, this just scribe, yeah you can, it scribes in these panel lines. So you can actually, if you're careful with it, you can do loads of detail. And then I would be inclined to maybe use a file to take off those edges a little bit. And I've got slightly different profiled files where then I'll maybe want to clean that in there a little bit. And I've got sandpapers. You know, it's a bit like DIY, just everything's smaller. If you were going to be doing a bit of woodwork, you just changed the materials you're using, and because everything's smaller, you want smaller tools. So all I'm doing at the moment is cleaning these edges. This is rough, so same principle. I can use my Swan Morton. So before I start, I want to clean these edges, that bit of burr off. Let's go over this side as well. Makes the most charming sound. Let's go down this edge as well. Model making and painting is like decorating. I've said this analogy so many times. It's more about your preparation. It's like when I'm airbrushing, a lot of what I do is about me masking up and the time I spend doing that. And if that's done properly, I'll end up with a really good finished painted result. It's the same with when you're trying to convert a model. If you try and rush it and you don't think about all the edges and smoothing everything and really looking at the detail, when you do actually stick all the bits on and you come to paint it, that's when your paint's going to show up all these horrible defects that you've created. And remember, what I'm trying to do now is I'm not trying to make this look like I've stuck loads of plastic on it. I'm trying to make this look like a production model. When this is done and painted, I want to make my joins seamless. I want to make what I've done a mystery. Otherwise, it's not cool at that point. It's not cool when you can clearly see what I've done. So, cleaning off. We've got a lot of burr in that I want to clean out of here. These two little holes at the front as well, they look like a perfect point for putting my guns in that were off that picture. Yeah, it is worth putting the effort in. Phil, we just recorded a video on a new airbrush I've got, the Iwata Revolution. So I have my notes here, John. I just because I clearly can't remember anything for 30 seconds. That will be out very soon. Please watch that video. That airbrush is so good. There's actually a lot of times you can get away without masking. So, but yeah, masking is really important with airbrushing. So, I think I'm about at a point where I want to start cutting some.
Kai just popped up.
Hey Kay! No, that's Sawai.
Oh,
Sawai is Laszlo. Good evening, brother. Nice to actually see your work live at last. Thank you very much. This is our second episode. This one's open to all of you guys, all of the world, so to speak. But the last one was just for the Patreon viewers, and I think that's what we're going to be doing now. It's going to be alternate ones, but if you want access to the videos that I record and the videos that are already in the bank, please check out Rasta Maice Painting Patreon. $2 a month gets you access to everything. If you're really tight, you could just do 1 month, watch everything, and then never come back again. I hope you don't, and I'm sure you won't, because really, what's $2 a month? So we've had a good bit of cutting there. And now what I want to do, I clearly can't paint this model with these two massive gaps. So I want to fill this. Now, I could chuck a load of green stuff in there, but that's just stupid because it's a lot of green stuff and it's not really what I want to do. I want to build up some plastic because I'd like to put some little panel lines, maybe mirroring these panel lines that have come across. I'm just going to have a mouthful of water. So I'm going to use some plasticard.
There's a few people saying that your Patreon's worth the money.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Thank you everyone. Thank you for following as well. Yeah, and if you guys are on YouTube or Twitch or anything else and you'd like to subscribe to Weekend Warlords page, please do so. This is not the only thing we do. You all know this is my job, so I'm giving you away a lot of my trade secrets and what I do. It's my pleasure to do that. I love to teach people and inspire anyone, but we also cover our Tuesday night fly casual, and whenever we have our tournaments, both of those days are streamed. So it really is worth chucking your sub up, and we do lots of giveaways and stuff like that. In fact, what I will do on the next episode of this, and in fact the one after, so for the next two episodes, I'll give something away on these live streams. Dial cover, who knows? I'll just sneak that in there. Oh, who's that? Oh, who's it?
That'll be done through Twitch.
That'll all be done through Twitch, yeah? So if you want to be involved in our giveaways, Twitch is the format, and we love your subscriptions. Thank you very much. So, plasticard time. Let's have a look in the little box of goodies. This is called plasticard, or styrene sheet. It comes in multitudes of different thicknesses. Let's have a look what we got.
Thank you, Ulfric. Ulfric just donated.
Thank you very much, Ulfric. Look, you can see this one's so thin, it's almost like a Rizzler paper. Right, so they come in all, and then you've got some really, like, brutishly thick ones. You've got all different kind of thicknesses. We also have this stuff. Right, this is available in packs, and this is your more architectural shapes. So look, we've got on this, these are loads of little round, and I'll cut these down for rivet heads. I'll use them for pipes. There's flat parts, there's I-beams, there's L's, there's all sorts of shapes. Years of model making, you end up building it up. It's not particularly cheap, but it's what I love, and you know, it's better than spending it on, you know, machine guns and explosives. It is though, isn't it? It is better than that.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Hello, Jeff Ball. Who's that? Use the language shot in my first order, which you saw when I kept... awesome. And it was awesome. You did a great job. So, let's have a little play. I think that this is going to be thick enough. So...
YouTube subscriber.
Oh, who was that?
Before we come up on the stream, it was X-Wing Sibylus Shift.
Schlubberluff.
Yeah, him.
Thank you, Schlubberluff FX Wings Vicious. Laughing hurts. That'll teach me if I'm mocking someone's name. Because, you know, why don't you have an easy name to say, like Delapina? Right, so this... What I'm probably going to do here, chaps, is make it up as I go along, which I do all the time. Let's roughly work out my length. So we've roughly got that much. Because I'm going to like whittle. I like my accent at that point. I'm going to whittle this a bit, right? I'm going to get out my knife and have a bit of whittling. So let's just... Now I've got a bit of a line, so what I'll do is I'll use me steel rule to draw that with my pencil. So that gives me one nice straight edge, and I've got roughly where my length is. Right, so let's get that cut.
Thank you, Dylan Jones, just subscribe on YouTube.
Oh, thank you, Dylan. Hi, Alan. Alan, did you message me about a wolf helmet? Clone, I'm sure it was you. Someone messaged me about doing a clone helmet to look like Commander Wolf. I haven't forgotten about you, bro. Right, so plasticard. You don't have to cut all the way through. Don't try and cut it all at once. Take your time, score your lines. Now I'm going to cut this front bit. See this shorter part? I'm going to cut this through, right? And I'm going to do a few scores to get through.
Or if it just put up me, so what I was saying.
No, someone else messaged me about.
Yeah, Alan just said yes, please.
Yeah, well, I can do that for you, bro. Wait till they're out, and I'll have a little message. It isn't going to be much more than a standard repaint. But for you, anything. And you know what, Alan? Thank you. I didn't even know there was like specific paint jobs for the clone characters. If any of you guys are on Patreon and you find that stuff and you want to send it to me out of the love of your own heart, please do, because it really helps me out. Because I'm all on my own. I run my business by myself. I've got my dogs, got my kids, got all of that, and like the hours, I wish there was like 75 hours a day so that my tooth could hurt for 74. It really hurts, John. Right, so I cut through that bit, but this bit, look, watch, snap. Right, if you've scored enough, this will break, and it breaks pretty flat as well, pretty square. But that's okay. So let's have a look what we were doing here. So that would be the narrow end, and that would be the thick end. So we're just kind of roughing out what I want here. I'm so blind. So, mate. Bucket, sweet, trying to do my arc in a similar scheme. I don't know if you guys ever saw my arcs. I think they were called Razor Squadron. If you go back on my painting page on Rasta Maice painting, there's a full set of ships I did. I did some arcs, and I even did the lats. I got like the metal LATs. I love those ships. And there was an X-Wing. This was when it was all the Rebel stuff. But have a look on there. You might like those. They're the black with the black and white with the dog tooth. So I'm just going over the edge of this because look, there's a burr, right? Oh, I'm not in camera. Sorry, guys. There was like a burr, so I'm just smoothing off that edge because it wasn't sitting flat. Right, so and this stuff I'm using, right? I know this weren't built like this. This was plastic, right? When they make plastic models, they make them at least 3 up. If this wasn't just designed purely in a CAD system, but if they were making this as a full-scale model that's then scanned into CAD and then reduced, this is the stuff they're using anyway. Right, so you're not like using some weird product that model makers don't use. This is the real deal. So clean that edge off nice. And probably what I'm going to look to do here is stick this in and then maybe trim off this back part rather than try and do that later. But what I will do is look to score a line. So I'm going to mark here because that would be one line. And do I want to score there as well? Maybe do score there as well. So I've got these 2 lines that are going down. So let's just think about, would that be square to that? That would. So I can use the top of my, let's get me tiny bit in there. So I can use my ruler like this. I'm using the flat of that ruler to create that 90 degrees and then just marking. And then just marking. There's a lot of this when you're scratch building. If any of you have ever seen my Thunderbird, the whole back end, the whole engine section was built purely from this. So it was built from flat, just like this. Everything was drawn, everything was cut, everything was sanded, everything was joint, and it was like a jigsaw puzzle. So I am going to get my ruler on there, get my scriber, and I'm very gently, because I don't want too much of a score line, just going over that. And again, I'm just going to go over this one. I'm going to look for one of my files. There we go. This one is kind of like a triangle. And I'm just going to go on that score line. Just to get a lovely profile into it. Nice and subtle. Then I'll go over the top of my piece of plastic with my flat blade, with my flat file. Blow that off. Just go back over with my triangle. And then I'm just gonna, you ain't even gonna be able to see this, but with the edge of my knife, if there's any slight burring, which hardly anything, but I can just clean it off very gently with my knife. Right, so let's just show you that. Just clean that top and bottom. Right, see if we can get this in a light where you can see. Can you guys, I'm gonna take off my glasses because I can't see. Can you see, John, on that monitor?
What's that?
Can you see those score lines on that bit of plastic?
Yes. When you hold it like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so you can see that they're kind of panel lines that are in there. So that's done now, obviously, because I'm not going to be able to do that when I've stuck that in there and there's no way of getting into there. Do I want to add any more? As of yet, no I don't. I'm just, before I start sticking, do I want to add a little bit of detail there? No, I think I'll do that when that's in. So let's see if we can get this stuck. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to make sure... Oh, lovely noise. That's not hurting my teeth at all. Sorry, in the camera. All I'm doing is top to bottom, making sure I have got a flat... Do you get what I'm saying? That it's flat both edges. So that when I stick, it's going to hit both of it.
I can just put up your Thunderbird in case nobody's actually seen it and describe.
Put it up, John. Put it up.
Do you want to describe it to people?
Oh wow! Look at, how did you do that? You're so technologically gifted. So that's my Thunderbird. So this whole back part, the whole end. I'm pointing to a picture, like as if I'm there with you. But the whole engine and the wings, including the little ship at the back, it's all made from plasticard. You can see those panel lines that are in the top of the engine, they're scribed in, just like I've been showing you. So a lot of the techniques you're seeing here, the part on the, so the right hand side of the engine, above the two, that kind of like, it's almost like a concertina, lots and lots of pieces of plasticard cut, joined with a little gap, another little bit in between. So and you build it up. So it's all just, I've said this before, it's just geometric shapes kind of stacked on top of each other. I've got my trusty toothpicks.
I'll remove that now.
I have got a little pot like that. I'm going to put some glue on the pot. I'm going to get a little toothpick. I'm going to get my old man glasses on because I honestly am blind without them. I found some screenshots, Lego models online of Wolf Jag. Oh, awesome, do it! Your Iron Man IG was really good watch. Thank you, Alan. I'm going to do an Iron Man and a Captain America dial, and I'm not necessarily going to be selling those, but I definitely want one for myself. They're the sort of dial that I'll do, and if I invested all the money, no one will ever buy one.
It's just off screen there, Joe.
Oh, sorry guys. So all I'm doing is just getting some good glue on this edge. Now, I suppose you could use plastic glue, but I'm not sure what this plastic is. I'm not sure how it's going to affect it, and so plastic glue melts plastic. That's how it joins it. I don't want to melt this plastic. I want to be able to work this plastic, and I don't want to have to wait till tomorrow for that glue to have dried. So let's get this in at this corner. Right, and now I'm going to leave this ever so slightly rich on the top, even though I've got that straight edge. I'll clean that back. Right, you can see there's like a very tiny little, that's it, a tiny little bit extra running along the top. Let's get me, just to push that in, make sure that's stuck all the way down. Okay, so we're already starting to seal up that gap. We've got some panel lines in there. I am going to add, like as I go along, I'm going to add a little bit of detail on the inside with another piece of plastic. But this is not going to need too much on the insides because I'm going to add some guns and bits and bobs on the front. So, but that's getting close to being stuck. Now you can see we've got loads of excess and I want to clean that off. So I'm going to start, this is where, let's get in there a bit more for you. This is where I used to cut my thumb. Look where my thumb is, right? And look which way. And I know they say you shouldn't cut towards yourself. You shouldn't. I'm going to do what I want, right? Gently, gently, gently. It's this end bit where you normally cut yourself, right? So just gently. There we go. This knife isn't brand spanking new. So the blade is still sharp, but it isn't quite surgical sharp. So we're just going to gently start whittling this down. And I don't want to go right to that edge, yeah? I just want to take some of this excess away. Take your time, let the tool do the work. Don't rush or you'll ruin it. Right, so let's just turn. Always, same as painting. Remember to turn what you're working on so that it's comfortable for you. Don't fight it. Make it work for you. So also, if I go quiet, that's just old man concentration levels. I'm going to just trim that off a little bit. And I'll trim this more in a second. I'm just roughing this now, yeah? Just roughing it. So I've got a lot of that excess off, but there's still that lip. So I can go in again a little bit more. Look, just taking like slivers off now. It's a lovely product to work with, Plasticard, if you take your time with it. Everything is about time. So we're very close there already. Very close. Look at that. You can start to see how close we're getting here. I've got that little lip on the top. I don't know whether I'm going to run my knife along that. Let's have a little feel. Just a touch. Just a touch. Let's turn that the other way. Like I did with the R2 dial as well. If I get this completed at home, I will put pictures of the finalised conversion work, because this is definitely going to take me more than 2 hours. Anyone that knows me or has seen my work knows how long I put into work, and it's a simple fact: you get a better product at the end of it. You get a much better product. Right, so now we're really close. I'm going to start using my files. Now this can be a bit tricky here because we haven't got a lot of room to work. And you can also use your blade. So now if you're using it flat, so you can just run. And you'll know when you're starting to hit flush, because you'll start to take the paint off of the original model. That's when you know when to stop. And in some respects, you can see the paint starts to come off here. You merge the two pieces of plastic like this. Right? I'm pretty close to perfect on this top. Okay, so that's pretty flush, yeah? But what there is, remember we did that panel line on the side. There's now this piece here, which has not got a panel line. So I'm going to take my knife, following the panel line that's there, and I'm just going to cut that in.
So I've actually got the image of the ship that you're working on. I can put that up in the top corner, just to remind people what you're working on.
Do it. What do you mean? Show me. So clever. Where would you recommend getting Plasticard from to get the best value for money and variety? I do a lot of bashing, but not much scratch building. Though I'm working on ideas and want to improve. We have some, don't we?
We have some.
Right,
We
we
don't
have
a
some.
massive stock of it.
I think the company that manufactures it is called Evergreen Models.
Yeah.
I'd probably look to try and purchase it from them directly. I used to buy a lot of my stuff from a model shop in Nottingham, which has unfortunately closed down. It's gone the way of a lot of model shops. Model train shops. If you can find a model railway shop, they tend to have a larger stock of plasticard and metal. So your steel rods, tubes, this sort of stuff. That'd be the best place to go. It is not incredibly cheap. I can't even think what. So one of these packets, and this had 10 strips of this. 10 of those, right? And they were $2.99, and I probably bought that 5 years ago. So it's probably $3.99 now. So they're not the cheapest thing in the world, especially when you've got 20, 30, 40 of them. It suddenly starts becoming expensive. But does it really become expensive when a hobby... Look, if I did buy them 5, 10 years ago, I'm still using them. I still dip in, you have a little bit, hours of fun, awesome. I can't get into any trouble at home. I certainly don't get involved in street battles with crackheads, which of those of you that know me know that I do. So again, I'm not in shot. I'm sorry, guys. See, I'm so blind. This is what I do, right? I hold it like right up to my face, and then I forget that I need to be on camera. So where was I? I cut in this. Let's move my thumb out of the way. I just cut in. No, I just cut in this little panel line, so it now goes all the way round to the panel line that I cut into the side here. And I'm using my knife to just soften that hard edge a tiny bit. I'm also just going to notch in this little bit of panel line there too. So we got that, and just softening that edge off with my knife all the time.
So Arfon's reminding us that if we get up to 70 subs on Twitch, he is going to do a cooking video of
naked cooking. Arfon's going to do naked cooking.
Oh, I thought fudge, but yeah.
He's going to cook with fudge. Do you know what I like about fudge?
It makes your teeth better.
No, you can pack a lot into a small box. It's a real art, fudge packing. Did you like that? John's shaking his head. He's going, this is not Patreon only. You can't say fudge packing. I just said it again. So I'm just going over these edges. I'm softening this edge. And then I'm going to run my knife along this back part, this bottom part. Exactly the same as I'd done on the top.
Alfred's just resubscribed.
Thank you, Alfred.
And Hairy Dragon subscribed earlier.
Well, thank you, Hairy Dragon. I'm a dragon. Did you know that? I'm the Chinese Year the Dragon. Who else is a Chinese dragon? Which means you're either the same age or 12's more or less. I mean, you guys less. Right, so look at that. So I've got some panel lines under here. I wanna just try and notch that in. So now because I'm notching in these panel lines into my bit of plasticard, when this is all done, my bit of plasticard will stop looking like my bit of plasticard, and it will just look like a model. Right, now there is here a very, very faint gap in this where I've cut it. It's not laser cut. So I can either fill that with green stuff, but what I'm going to do is a bit of a cheat. So I'm going to get a bit of glue, and I'm just going to put some glue in there. Super glue can work quite well as a little filling agent, especially when you let it dry and then you can clean it off, clean off your excess.
Yeah, it actually forms like plastic, doesn't it?
It does form like a plastic.
I think it's actually the chemical formula is the same as Perspex, you know.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I'm just putting a bit of glue over there. Get that in there. So, and we can clean that all off. Now just rub my finger over it. Take off the excess on the outside. Right, we'll give that a second before I scrape over that anymore. Just going to go up to here. So I'm always looking for edges that are not quite clean, that have been damaged slightly by my cutting, and I want to go back and clean those over. Okay, let's just go along this edge. I've got another little notch here for the panel line as it's coming round. Should I cut one here following this one? I will. I'm going to cut one here following this panel line. Right, and some of these bits you're not really going to see until we get round to painting, but this will just, it continues this line that goes round here. I'll do another one here, continuing this line, cross onto this bit of plastic. Nice. Right, the super glue's dried enough for me to just go over the top nice and gently. It has, it's filled that little gap. I'm just going over this because we weren't quite there with this bit. I'll just sort of run my knife. So when you're doing it like this, the knife finds the high points if you try and hold it flat, so you're orientating it against, flush to that surface. Nice, nice. Running my finger, it feels really, really smooth. So just on this edge, just running up, just taking that burr off, softening that edge. Okay, so we get to the front. Let's get a file on this. Where are we at with time, John? Just so I know.
We've done hour 10.
Okay.
Past 8.
Okay. So, what I'm going to do is, instead of doing the other side, I'm going to add a gun to this side and then try and mount this wing so you've got a good idea of where we're getting at with this model. So I'm going to repeat that process on this side, and then I'm going to put a tiny little filler, just a piece of plastic in the middle when that's done, which is nothing that you guys are really going to need to see. Then, for example, I would say take a piece of this thinner card. I'll show you something quickly. This is just silly detail, right? And this is on a lot of models and it makes no sense. So let me just cut a piece of plastic. So I'll take this bit of plastic. I'm going to cut two of those because I'd want one for both sides. I'm going to put a bit of an angle like that. I'm going to angle that top bit with a bit of a slant, full length. I'm going to notch a tiny bit of detail into it like this, a little cutout. Right. Right, so we've got a little bit of detailed plastic, and then when I've done the other side, come on you stinker, I would mount this just on, can you see? Just on the inside. So I end up with like another little panelled section for a bit of detail. Just like these bits have got these panels, I'm going to add a little one on that inside edge. These are like tiny bits of detail that you can build up. It's all just flat geometric shapes. If you notice on anything, these are all just it's all that principle. You add in little bits and you add more interest and detail. So let's look at a gun for the front. Are we happy with this at the moment? I think I need to just put a slight angle on that. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Now, guns. Now you can kit bash. You can, I'll tell you what's really good, Flames of War model kits, tank kits, loads of bits of guns that are kind of like the right scale. But I was blessed with a gift from my little Italian. Alright Phil, one love bro, Alessandro. And he got me these cool little 3D printed guns. And I haven't even got them out yet. And they are, look at those. These are tiny, tiny little things. I'm not actually sure I want to cut these up for the front because I only want a little bit of a barrel sticking out. No, I'm not. I'm going to kit bash. These are too cool to chop up. So let's pop those away and let's have a look in my big box of rubbish. Right, it's like Lego time. Tip out the rubbish. Right, let's have a look what we got. There we go, I was talking about. It's a little tank barrel on the front of this. These miniguns, they're off Flames of War. This little gun, that's Flames of War. They're just like perfect scale. So if you guys have ever done any of that stuff, I'm sure you will have access. Look what I found. This is one of my scratch built guns. I've got clone troopers at home that I built from scratch 12 years ago. And this is how you actually flatline build from scratch. So this is part of a Stormtrooper's blaster carbine. This is the extremes you can go to with plasticard. Each of these little pieces is a separate piece of plastic that I've cut, whittled, shaped, glued together, yada yada yada. Just don't need that. Give me, oh, these look good. Look, found a gun. I need another one of these. Let's hope I got another one of these. Not necessarily got another one of those, but I might have another one of those. It's not there. What we got? Yeah, you know what's going to happen. Typical. I've got one. Do you know what? I only need one. I can do the other one at home. I only want to show them.
Sounds a bit Blue Peterish to me.
Are you knocking it, John? I got a hurty tooth and you're picking on me. Nice. I like it. Oh, look, there's a Falcon gun. Alright, so let's get all that crap on there. Let's get that. Right, let's have that gun off there. Kit bash time. So, glasses. Everyone cross your fingers and hope that when I cut this, it doesn't just ping off into the corners of oblivion. Give it a cut there. Turn it over. Little wiggle. Bang. She's off. Perfect. Right, so I want to mount that right on the front. So I'm going to get my drill bit out to help that in. First of all, I'm going to cut this at a slight angle. You see I put that angle on it because of what it's going on is not flat. It is angled. Do I need to cut that a bit more? I do need to cut that a tiny bit more. So just accentuating that angle. let's clean off the front of that. So there's a mould line, which a lot of people don't see. It's especially where you'll get it is around the front of a gun barrel and then down both sides. And that would really, really wind me up when I come to paint it, because I will see that mould line and it will do my nutting. So let's get that off. Let's get that cleaned. See? This is what model making, like small scale model making, is all about. Like really attention to detail. So I'm going to pin this. Now, this is fun. Right, so because this is at an angle, I'm going to start flat. Watch this. Right? But this is not how I want the pin to go. And then as I get a bit of a purchase, I'm going to turn my drill and get it straight. Oh, God, I just banged my teeth together. That really hurt. Look at that little hole. Made a little hole. Why am I whispering? I don't know. My tooth really hurts, Mum. Right, made a little hole. I might have to go a tiny bit deeper. That's what she said. Little hole. And I'm going to make another little hole in the front of this. Roughly in the centre. This one should go all the way through. Yep. I broke the seal. Now, pinning wire. You can see where it's been cut, it's not flat, so I'm going to cut it with this flat edge so I get a flat edge. Spot of glue. We got any glue left? Any glue hiding? Need a bit more glue on my little pot of glue. I'm going to get that in there and I am going to cut that. So pinned. This is what people don't do, and then they stick things on models and then they just fall off. And that's always going to happen unless you pin stuff. Let's just pull this drill bit out a bit and go in a bit deeper. That's what she said.
We've got a couple of new patrons.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, Jack Wamper in with $5.
Oh, Jack, thank you, mate.
John Bamford in with $2.
Oh, bam, bam. Got to shoot and finish watching that one, haven't I? Oh, thank you so much, guys. It really means the world to us, right? It means the world. You know what it means to me? Honestly, guys, all of what I do for you. It means that we're going to keep this store going. We're going to keep Weekend Warlords happening. That's all the Patreon's about. It all goes into a big pot, and we just keep the lights on in this place. We're not even open today, and John's been here since 4 o'clock. I've come all the way. I've done a 30-mile drive each way, so 60-mile round trip. I give my time up to do this, so those little bits of contribution really mean the world to us. Thank you so much. So if you can get out there, Matty Skywalker Cole's just subscribed on Twitch Prime. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. I love your names as well. I'm so boring. I just call myself Rasta Maice and everything. So where are we? There we are. Look at that. It fit perfectly. I even got my angle right on my cut. So let's get some glue there. Let's get me trusty toothpick. Let's get me a bit of glue. Let's just in that hole there. And a bit on that surface so that when it makes contact it's going to seal up any gaps. Let's get this bad boy in there.
And if people don't want to subscribe, but want a t-shirt, we've got some t-shirts, haven't we?
You tell them, John.
Yeah. So if you're on Twitch and you click, and you're on your iPhone, click info on our channel, and you'll see a link to our merchandise and some of George's dial designs on t-shirts.
There'll be more soon when I can remember to bring the artwork with me, or you remember to remind me, John.
Yeah.
It's one of the two, isn't it?
It's neither mine or your fault.
It's no one's fault. We'll blame it on our parents.
Yeah.
So just clean the front of that gun barrel. Now there's part of me that wants to drill a hole in that gun barrel. So the part of me that's saying don't do it is generally weaker than the part of me that's saying do it. So I'm going to do it. Now this could be really bad. Is that drill bit too big? It might be too big. I think this drill bit's too big. I don't think I've got my really tiny one with me. Let's have a look here. Oh, I do. Oh, I do.
Well, that's quite interesting. Just put that under the camera.
So this is a micro drill bit set, and if you notice, they're all broken, apart from the really big ones. But look at that. Look how tiny that is. Look at the difference between that and that. It's like miles apart. So let's take this one out, and let's hope that the insert I've got on this pin vise. This pin vise is available at Weekend Warlords. I don't know if my pin vise is going to accept this though. It might be too small. Yeah, too small. Let me see what's on the other end of this. No, that's too big. Let's see if I've got a spare one in the back. No, right, I'll drill that at home. That's purely me coming from a model making background where I feel the need to drill out gun barrels, because otherwise how do the bullets come out? I know. Lasers? They still got to have a hole, wouldn't they?
I don't know how lasers work.
The lasers need a hole? Kai, do you need a hole with a laser?
That's a good question.
Lasers need an emitting lens.
So would that be recessed?
Is that recessed, Kai? It must be, mustn't it? Toothache's got right up here now. I've got to have a vape. I'm going to try and mount one of these wings. I'm sorry everyone that I'm vaping on stream, but I'm really hurting. So
It says generally yes.
Love you, dude. Who's General Yes, anyway? Is that like General Kenobi's mate? So I want to get this wing on. So let's have a look at this. It's got this raised edge here. I'm going to get that off. Let's get that off, John. So I've got a flat. Can you see these two bits? Look, you can see my knife against it. So let's just cleave that off and cleave off this. Now, if there's anyone in this chat group that knows how to get ships apart, it's Kay. I don't. I just prize at things. I never try and open them up as much as Kay does. He's awesome at doing stuff like that. I'm not quite so awesome. There's part of me that wants to magnetise this, but I have a problem with magnets, and I've just got to lay off. I tried to magnetise the dogs the other day. They weren't having it. Right, so where are we going to put a hole here? Where are we going to put a hole here? Where do we want this to sit? I want that to sit there. Can you see? If you guys can see that. Can you see it against this bit on the actual wing? I want it to sit against that. So let's start by drilling a hole in this bit. Let's get out my drill bit. So there's a nice part there. You can see this actual, that bit there. I'm going to start there. Take your time, drill your hole. Oh, I haven't tightened up my drill bit. You're not reckless, Kay. You've got to stop putting yourself down, mate. Everyone thinks you're awesome, bro. It's just you that don't. So we've got a little hole there. We're going to get a pinning rod. We're going to just test fit that. I like to go a little bit deeper. Stop laughing, John. Smutty, smutty, smutty brain you've got. So, now, I can see roughly where it's going to go here. And I've got a feeling I'm going to end up coming through. Yeah, so I can start to see it. I don't know if you can. Let's see if I can show you. And you see just there, it's starting to pierce. So at that point, just drill backwards because I don't really want to go through. So let me flatten this edge like I did before. So I'm cutting with a flatten mud tool. And I am going to cut this off here.
Acid Ash just subscribed.
Ah, awesome, Acid Ash. Who's Acid Ash?
Don't know.
Are you an Ash or are you Akash or who are you? Because I got a customer called Akash. Right, let's find my tweezers. I'm going to hold my pin. I'm going to get some glue. I'm going to find a little hole I did on this wing. I'm going to get it in there. Akash! Hey! Oh, Akash, your dial's ready. It'll be here for you tomorrow, brother. So if you can get to come in store, your R2D2 is ready and beep, beep, boop, boop, waiting for you. Even beep, beep, boop, boop hurt my tooth. Yeah, my PayPal's was Rasta Maice at outlook.com. I'm happily accepting donations of bottles of Kraken. Oh, proper hurting. And I've got no one at home, no mum, nothing. And I've got to go home and be in pain on my own. I can't even eat. I'm Italian and I can't eat.
It's harsh.
It's harsh, man. And I know I was on a diet, but then you get to a point where you're like, well, if I keep losing weight, I'll look like Ash. And no one wants that. Right, so that is perfect. I'm Dave from the Sarlax, brother. Hey! How you doing? Have I met you? Because I love Dave. Dave's like my brethren. I love Dave. Dave awesome. In Wicked. Right, hold on. So I got that one there. I would like to put another pin. But getting that to marry up perfectly. Where's that hole gone? If you can't find the hole, I'm not even going to do that joke. Because this is not the Roy Chubby Brown show. I would like to do another one. I am thinking of drilling all the way through. Because now I've got one marrying it up. Now I'm going to drill all the way through this wing. Because I'm a bad, bad man. Let's get that in first.
So you drill from the outside in?
I'm going to drill from the outside in.
So that means it definitely marries up.
Right, so I've kind of marked my wing. I know roughly where I want to go on my wing. Right, so, and now how I'm going to hide this is when it's all done and dusted, I'm going to, remember I showed you that plastic rod? I'm going to cut one into a tiny little rivet and just put a rivet over it. And you won't even know that I've done it then. Right, so then I can put this back on here.
Just push it forward a bit, George.
Yep, sorry, I'm going to put this back on here. I'm going to hold my ship straight as much as possible. I'm going to go through, trying all the time to get that perfect. So now it's marked it, I can take it out.
It's a question from Alfred there.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't, thank God.
Drinks Monster.
Yeah. Just keep drilling. Where's my arm? Ah, there's my arm. Right, there we go. So now I can carry on drilling and drilling and drilling. Oh, I started to come through then. That's all right. So now what I'll do is now I'm going to pin this onto this bit. So I've got one pin on the wing, one pin on the model, and it's kind of like I don't know, in my head it makes it better. So let's put that just there. Let's nip that off. Now while that glue's still a bit wet and that pin can move slightly, I'm going to seat these. Come on, you stinker. There we go. Okay. So that's obviously going to take a spot of glue to hold it, but it's kind of held it. It's got two pins, so when I do actually glue it together, it's kind of hard to show you. There you go. A bit of a front view. So we got the wing on. Can we pop that picture up of what I'm actually making? I'm no good at this.
Just give me 1 second. Yep.
So I've got the wing on. I've got the gun at the front. I've got the split down the middle. I clearly need to have some sort of humongous cannon under there. That might be the time to have a look at my little box of frosted detail guns, because this way I don't have to cut them up. I did see some big monster guns in there. There we go. These two. I'm thinking about, let's put my old man glasses on. I'm thinking about either those two or those two. They're X-Wing guns. Nope, it's going to be these two. These two, right, so, oh, that's one off. Now, I've never used this stuff. It looks incredibly brittle and quite scary. I'm just going to cut that off. That was the mount point. Now, this is 3D printed, but I'm still going to check it. It does look like it has a tiny little mould line. Okay, so that I want to mount that under the wing, and I think I'm going to pin that as well. I was about to think I wasn't going to pin that, and then I thought better of it. So that little hole where it just mounted, let's drill a hole back into there. I'll be careful now because I ain't got a lot to play with it.
I don't know how he's done it, but Ulfric's just kicked us some money there. Thank you, Ulfric.
Thank you, Ulfric. I'm having a bottle of Kraken out of that. Or you can just pay for me to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
Ulfric, what you like, man?
He's too generous.
You know, sure, Rasta's going to have to make something for Ulfric now. Rasta feels bad. Rasta loves Ulfric. Ulfric, next, not the next tournament, because I know you're coming in April, but the one after that you come and stay with me, please. And then I can at least cook you dinner or do something like that. And I don't live in a mansion or nothing. I'm quite poor, to be fair. But I can at least cook you something to eat as some sort of way of saying thank you to you for all the fantastic things you do. You're just the bomb. I totally would, Ulfric. So, I'm just going to drill a little hole. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to drill a little hole. I found something that I can eyeball up where the hole should go. Now I've gone all the way through the model. Because there wasn't a lot to play with there anyway. I can easily, I'm going to shorten that pin ever so slightly because it's a tiny bit too long. Tiny little peg goes in the hole. Ah, wrong side, this side. Let's do it this side. Let's do another hole. Let's do another hole. Let's copy that hole. All the way through. I'll cover up that the hole that I've done with a bit of plastic card or even a spot of green stuff when it's all done. Let's get a bit of glue there. So I want a little bit there, like that. And then I want to put that there. No, I don't want a bit of Kit Kat, you horrible, evil, uncaring, bald, hideous man. Unless it comes with like morphine, I don't want Kit Kat. Right, so I've got the big gun. Look, I've got the gun on the side. I've got the cut down the middle. I've got the gun at the front. Let's get this bad boy back together. I've got the wing on. There you go. That's half of it done. Kit Kat morphine is a flavour even the Japanese don't sell. Racist, Kai. So racist. So there you go. That's not bad, is it? It's not far off at all. I know he's got some other gribblies and stuff. And I may well add some gribblies, some gubbins or whatever, but I'm not sure I want all of that. His is much bigger as well, right? So he's adding more detail and stuff. I'm pretty happy with where I've got to on that. I'm pretty happy. I don't think it... let's go this way. I'm sorry, I get quite confused because what it is you can't see is the camera that's looking down, right, is right in front of my face and the screen is in front of that. And so as I put it, I'm trying to dodge where my camera is and it's a bit hard. But you got that's the half you need to see, isn't it?
Can you hold it in the same sort of angle as that ship? Other way. That's it.
There we go. But let's show you it like that as well so you can kind of see that it's filled in on the inside. There'll be a little bit more detail in there. But suddenly I've got a SIF infiltrator that no one else is going to have. I think that's pretty cool. And that is pretty much a scratch building. It's converting, scratch building. We used a little bit of plastic card in that. We've done a little bit of kit bashing. I've used a gun. I think they're from Mel's Miniatures, or I certainly have a friend in this country who runs a model making company, and he was recently messaged me about, do I think there's a market for little guns and bits like that for X-Wing? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And he certainly said he's going to pass me on some of those when he gets round to making them. To see with the finish. If it is the ship you're trying to recreate from something. Yeah, it's this picture here. And there's kind of like various SIF infiltrator or SIF hunter killer ships from old canon. It's just different. It's just changed it up a little bit. In some respects, I think by splitting that front wing open and putting on these, it's made it a bit more droid looking. Do you know what I mean? I mean, let's do this. Can you imagine if I turned it so the legs were that way? If I'd magnetised them so I could have it landed on rocks like the old Vulture droids. I know I'm not going to. I would never do that because it'd look a bit weird, and I know it doesn't do that in the game, but there's something about this TIE interceptor wings, a TIE silencer wings, that just changed it up a bit. And we can all paint our ships to look different, but there's nothing better than actually having a slightly different... Do you want to give us like a full picture at the face? Because I'm struggling with... Oh, I banged it. Let's see if I can get that a bit better. There we go. Do you know what, John? I'm going to just drop this camera a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm struggling. My brain's not working. There we go. There we go, everyone. Let's straighten that wing up. It's just come off of its mounting. I like it. What do you guys think? It's got new guns. It's got a different front cockpit, a different front hull now. And it don't look like anyone else's. That's it. 2 hours. There's probably now that I've worked it out, it's probably only another hour and a half of conversion work to be done. And then any tiny fill-in. Let's lift that back up. I think we were at full tilt with that. Yeah, we were. And then we're on to painting. I'm waiting to get some battle droids. I ain't got none yet. So when I do, I'll probably... I've got this thing at the moment about painting them all to match. I never used to, but now...
I was going to ask what colour scheme would you go for?
Don't know yet. Dark, black, reds.
Black, reds, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm really not sure yet. I'm not sure at all. This is not really the faction. I'm not really excited about playing this. That's not why I'm doing it. Way more interested in just the model making side of things. Where are we at time-wise?
We're
pretty close.
8:45?
Yeah, we're pretty close. So I'm kind of going to wrap up. I'm going to say some bits and bobs and point you all in the right directions of things, but I'm going to wrap up a little bit early because honestly, I'm really struggling at the moment with my face. It really hurts. I'm really sorry. So going forward, for those of you that are not Patreon members, this is kind of the future of where Rasta Maice painting's at. We're going to do 2 of these every single month. So every other week I will be doing a live stream for 2 hours. I will be painting, I will be model making, I will be sculpting, etc, etc. Thank you so much, Papa Rex. And then I'll be doing my best to do 1 video a month, which is a lockdown as well. So if you are a Patreon member, you will always have access to my live streams and my videos. If you are not a Patreon member, you may be lucky and once a month you'll get to join me for the live stream. But please go out there and support. It's $2 a month if you're not a Patreon member. It'll give you access to buy the legendary limited edition Porg dial that is coming. Which will only be available to people that have signed up to the Patreon, will not be available for purchase any other way. Those of you that have been with me 6 months and are $10 and $20 brackets, you'll be getting those for free. $20 get them painted, and then the $5 guys, you'll be getting some awesome alt art cards that we're having made of the Porgs. There may well be the Porg A-Wings that I've done as well. John's going to be doing that this week. They'll be coming out to you soon. If you haven't subscribed to Weekend Warlords, please go out and subscribe to Weekend Warlords. If you haven't liked our Facebook pages, go and like them. Like Rasta Maice Painting, please. I know I haven't posted a lot of pretty shit pictures lately because I'm just painting dials, and I'm weird like that. I know I should just keep showing everyone what I'm doing, but it's like, well, you've seen one of those painted. I probably won't show it again, but I probably will because I've had so many more likes that I should maybe re-show some of the stuff I've done. Tavern Wars, thank you very much, brother. If any of you guys get the opportunity to come down to our tournament at the weekend, it is our 4th birthday.
Yep.
I'm right. Do we have tickets left?
We have very few on the Saturday,
right,
but we have quite a few on the Sunday.
So Sunday's the day, guys. Saturday's nearly sold. There's a few tickets on Sunday. We've been here 4 years this weekend. It's going to be awesome. Arfon's making team cake. If any of you have ever had Arfon's cake, it's enough of an excuse just to come here. I would advise you not to eat Arfon's cake after midday, or you won't be able to drive your car home. It's the best cake I've ever eaten, though.
3/4 of a litre of
I've never ever asked for double cake.
No,
I don't really like cake.
Yeah.
I was like, can I have some to take home?
Yeah.
He was like, what?
Yeah.
I was always like, no, I don't want no fudge Arfon. It's too much for me, all of that. But yeah, that was it. This was our little modelling. These things are coming out soon. Got some more dial covers. They look cool like that. Don't know if those of you joining us, some crazy ones. Please keep supporting me and buying my stuff. It helps me to keep doing this for you guys. I've got loads of Wave 1, Wave 2 and Wave 2.5 still at home. If anyone wants them, these are some new ones that are coming. Please give us a tinkle on Facebook. Happy to help with anything I can do. And if you're after commissions as well, give us a call. I am a bit busy and I don't take as many as I used to. God, that really hurt. Tough it out. Tough it out.
You got to get to a dentist, dude.
Oh, mate, that was like biting a nail, like a steel nail. Anyway, I love you all. He loves you, even though you don't know what he looks like. Unless there's another reason to come to Warlords. You can get to see the hideous John. And you can see how much of what we say about him is truth. All of it, obviously, is hideous. That's why I can't ever look that way. I have a mirror, because if you look at him directly, you turn to stone like the Medusa. If I wasn't already in this much pain, John would punch me now. Right, so thank you for everyone that's cheered, donated. Thank you, you awesome people for I missed the previous live. Can I rewatch it somehow? Couldn't find it on the Patreon site. Should be on the Patreon site, shouldn't it?
If you subscribe to Patreon, yeah.
If you are a subscriber, Laszlo, you absolutely should be up there on the Patreon site. Yeah, the live stuff, it's not just like, oh, you missed it. They should be like logged, booked videos. But the great thing about doing it live is if you guys want to talk to me, it's really great. I hopefully can answer some questions. The plan for next show, it might change, but it might not. But the plan is to paint a ship. I was going to paint a small ship, maybe one of my fangs, my Transformer fangs. That was what I was planning. That was at a request of Patreon and a good friend who was like, can you paint small ship, blah, 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 help us out a bit. I'll try and do something a bit quick. I can't guarantee I can paint a ship in 2 hours because of my OCD. I'll try my best to paint a ship in 2 hours. It might mean that I've primed it and maybe base coated it before I get here. But I'll do my best to do a whole ship in 2 hours. I'm not that speed painter guy. I'm the guy that takes a bit longer than that because it's just how I'm built. So tune into the next one. Tune in tomorrow night. We've got casual Tuesday night stream. And if I can bully my boyfriend Ash Brooks to play me on stream, that might be happening. But he's being a bit of a wuss. Isn't he, John?
He is.
He's being a bit of a wuss. So what you guys need to do is go to the Weekend Warlords X-Wing Facebook page and say, Ash Brooks, you need to play Rasta Maice on stream tomorrow, or we'll all come round your ass and leave paper bags with little gifts on the doorstep.
Or order lots of things through the post, like bags of sand.
To his ass. Do that.
Or to his round that he delivers on.
Oh, it's such a good idea. Such a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I know.
That's a really good idea, John.
Yeah.
Big bottles of mineral water.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you have that delivered?
No, why wouldn't you? Yeah. Right, brilliant. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you learned something in this one, and I hope I can teach you something in the next one. You lot are great. I'm in pain. Thank you. Got lots of inspiration now. Keep on doing that stream, and we get well soon. I love you. You lot are awesome. Peace. One love.